morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday video. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Today we're going to do a triple panel layout card, which I think is very effective when we're using scenery paper, and we have that beautiful gallery paper that I'm going to use today. So we'll get on to that. I have a lot of Stampin' Up! News on my desk, so let's go down and have a look. All right. There we are. Let's see if I can get that to stay today. There we go. All right, so first thing you see is the new paper pumpkin that is needs to be subscribed by November the 10th. It's called Wrapped in Cheer. I should have cut this down a little bit. This paper is very big. There it is there. It is going to be making treat boxes. So it says, make the season extra sweet with festive tags and handmade treat boxes, perfectly sized for candies, gift cards, or tiny treasures. The ink spot will be Mossy Meadow. It makes 8 coordinating boxes with tags. And you can see a little bit of she's stamping the words Merry Christmas. So that's obviously one of the stamps. It has red gems. It has some linen thread, and the colors are basic beige, cherry cobbler, mossy meadow, and old olive. Looks like it'd be a good one for giving little, maybe gift cards or little treats. It also coordinates with the Abundant Joy add-on dies. There they are there. The number is 167855. They are $16.50. They went with last month's kit, this month's kit, and December's kit. So those are available to Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Okay, so that's by November the 10th. The craft class that Stampin' Up! Is offering right now is going to be October 23rd. You need to register and pay for that class. It is $41 in Canada, and they will be using the traditions of Christmas. You don't have to have that sweet. I don't think. It could be, you could watch and you could make it with whatever paper you want. I'm not sure how many cards or products they're making. I don't have any more details on it than that. And it starts at 2 p.m. And that's all I have to tell you about that one. All right, the Advent calendar is still available. 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. Everybody says it's a wonderful box of goodies, not necessarily Christmas. Everything behind the 12 doors goes together. There's a stamp set, which you can see there's 2 sheets of stamps there. The price is $136 in Canada, and the number is 167335. So that looks like a lot of fun. It would be a great gift for someone that's crafty or for yourself. And the big special right now, the month of October, is our Join special. You can join Stampin' Up! For $48 and receive $165 worth of product, or you can pay $135 and get $252 worth of product. So any product that you choose, online items, mini catalog items, annual catalog items, clearance items are all there for you to pick from. You cannot go over the $165 or the $252. If you need guidance in figuring all this out, you can definitely contact me and I can walk you through it. It's it's the best Join special I've seen since I've been with Stampin' Up! So it is well worth it if you have a wish list of any sort. All right, I'll put that to the side. My mini catalog is on my desk. Just to remind you that if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you don't have a mini catalog in your hand that you would like one, you can contact me either via email, mrgorn@shaw.ca, or my website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and I can get one of those to you. And I think the last thing is just to remind you that I have a 2 months to Christmas card class coming up, in person only. I'm not wanting to ship the card kit only because in Canada, our postal workers are doing a rotating strike, and I wouldn't want the cards to get stuck in the mail somewhere and you don't get them. So my card class, in-person class, is October 25th, and we will be making 4 Christmas cards. They look like this. So quite a variety, color and styles. So if you're interested in that card class, please get a hold of me. Again, either way works, and I can get you registered for that. All right, let's get to our card today. I am using the stamp set, The Right Words, today, and I am using Misty Moonlight ink, which I've already done my stamping. As you know, I usually do that. I am using beautiful gallery paper, and this is the sheet that I chose, the one with the boats on it. I hadn't used it yet, so we're going to make this card together. And you're going to need a card base. Mine is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and it's going to be a side fold this way, just because of the way the picture goes. That's the way I wanted it, longwise. Okay, so you need that. You need a cardstock layer, 4 by 5 1/4, and I've chosen basic beige to go on here. So it's going to go like that. And then we need some layers behind our designer series paper. And I said this was a triple panel layout, so you'll see that I've got 3 pieces of Misty Moonlight that are 1 5/8 by 3 7/8, and they are going to go on here. And then we are going to cut our designer series paper 1 1/2 by 3 3/4 strips, but the full piece is 4 1/2 by 3 3/4. So I'm cutting it. I want to choose what part of this picture I want. So what I did was I cut a window sheet. I find this very effective. Sorry, I got it upside down. It is 4 1/2 this way and 3 3/4 this way. And I can take this, and I know this is hard for you to see on camera, but I can take this and I can move it around and decide what part of this paper do I want. And I've decided that I'm going to go right in the corner over here in the right corner, and I'm just going to cut it this way because I want those bigger boats, and I want some land, and I want some sky. So I'm just going to cut it that way. So we're going to do that together. We'll move this out of the way. I brought my paper trimmer in. Make sure I'm in the... Okay, and I am going to cut this. I just have to think which way I want to do it. I'm going to cut it this way first, and I'm going to cut it 3 3/4 up this way. So if this helps you to keep this piece sort of here till you're ready, you're going to put this at the 4 1/2 mark on here, and you're going to cut up 3 3/4. And we know that we have that measurement on the side there. So I'm just going to try not to get my head into here, but 3 3/4 is about there. And then I'm going to lift this up, and now I'm going to have to turn it on the wrong side and put it at 3 3/4, like that. Make sure it's even, and just cut down to my line that I cut already, like that. And I can feel it when it hits that. I'm going to take that out of there. And so therefore, whoopsie, I have my piece that I wanted. Okay, now I need to cut this into 1 1/2 strips. So let's do that now. 1 1/2 looks like this, and just keep sliding it over. 1 1/2, like that. So you've got your 3 pieces, and of course you want to keep them in order, and they're going to go onto our Misty Moonlight pieces like that. Okay, now while I have my trimmer out, I do want to look at this because I thought I might want this piece on the inside, a strip of it. And I think you can see that there's a boat there, and I kind of like that, but I just didn't know how much of that I wanted or how wide I wanted. So I'm just going to leave it to the side, and we're going to cut it after when we're doing the inside of our card. Okay. So we can go ahead and get this put together. And I think the easiest way to do this is we'll put our designer series paper onto our cardstock layers, which is Misty Moonlight. And that should get us started. I have to start my glue here. I haven't been crafting today. I had a busy day. It's a municipal election here in our city that I live in. And so I wanted to go and vote today. I had a funeral first thing this morning, so that was the first thing I did. And then I wanted to go and vote, and then I had to go and pick up some fabrics. I have some sewing to do, so it's been a very busy day. Okay, so we're just going to put these on, and again, you're just going to have little bit of a border, so you try to do it evenly. Put it around like that. Okay, it's our first piece. This still is not coming out very well, this glue. Give it another poke there. Oops. All right, I hope everybody, all of my Canadian friends, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving weekend here. So we did our Thanksgiving dinner on Sunday at my daughter's house, and we decided we're going to change it up. And we ended up, because I have 4 grandchildren, we ended up doing pizza. So that was lots of fun. The kids love that. Not that they don't love turkey or ham, but it was just something different and no work for any of us adults. So it was very simple, just picking up pizza. We were going to make it, and then we thought, oh, that just creates a lot of mess again. So we decided we'd do it really easy this year. So I'm sure my husband and I will be missing the fact that we don't have leftover turkey, but that's the way we decided to do it. All right, so there's our layers, and they're still in order, of course. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece layer down on my card front, and then we'll arrange our panels. So again, this is just centering this on your card front as best you can. So we have pecan pie card base, basic beige, and now we've got, and these are all colors that are listed on the back of your designer series paper package. So I didn't guess at these were all listed. So I'm gonna move that out of the way. So that's, whoops, that's how it's going to look. And we just need to get these panels on there so they're somewhat even. But isn't that effective? I just love the way that looks. And you still have your full picture. So I really like that. So what I typically do when I have pieces like this is I will glue the 2 outside pieces and then the inside piece. So we know we want just a little bit behind this. You could also raise these up on dimensionals if you wanted. I'm just going to put mine down flat. So I'm looking top and bottom and to the side there. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with, we have to make sure I get the right one in the right spot, right? Whoops. I'm going to make sure I get them in the right way. This is not the right way. This is the right way. Okay, so the middle one I'm going to leave till last. This one next. This glue is really not cooperating with me today. I don't know what is happening with it. Something is not right. Yep, just, there we go. All right. And then with this one, I want it to look the same as this one. So top to bottom, side to side. Just eyeballing it. Hoping I'm getting it in there fairly straight. And then this one will go in the middle. All right. Now, I already told you I did my stamping. So I have a greeting for the outside, and I've already stamped the inside. I am using, for my greeting and for the inside part, I am using the Everyday Arches. So I took the second from the smallest, Everyday Arch, and from the Right Words, which is the stamp set we're using. Just put it back there, you can see it. I put Forever Loved, Forever Remembered. So obviously this is going to be a sympathy card. And I thought it makes a really good card for the loss of a man, I think. And I was at a funeral this morning and I had to choose a card that was more masculine. So I thought this would be a good one to use. I am going to put this up on dimensionals. And I don't have any embellishments that I really liked that would go with this. So I've decided, I went to my last chance bin of things, and they have the dragonflies and the birds that are on the last chance list, and I'm going to use some of them. Now you could have put another layer behind this, but I thought then I'm covering up too much of my picture and I didn't really want to do that. So I'm thinking, where do I want this? I think I want it right lined up with that layer there. Just drop it on, make sure it's straight before you press it down. So there's the greeting on the outside, forever loved, forever remembered. And then on the inside, I used another everyday arch. It's the 4th from the largest, and I stamped hoping the loss you feel right now will be eased by wonderful memories. And I thought it could go here, and then I could bring this back in and put another part of this on my card. Or I could put it this way and put this here. So now you see I'm going to cover that up if I use it. Just didn't know what to do there. And if I wanted, or should I cut part of this sky and just put this in the middle and put this on the top? You know, I can just do that, part of the clouds, and then it would be, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer and cut 1/2 inch off the top and use it at the top of my, just like that. And I will just use it at the top there, just to sort of put something on the inside. I always like to put something on the inside. And being it's the sky, I'll put it at the top here. And I'm thinking I probably want to, I'm going to cut off this end, which is more blue, and use more of the pecan pie that's there. So this is 5.5. So I will just take a little bit of the blue off on my, cut it on my paper trimmer, just take a little bit of it off, and then I've got it the right length, like that, or pretty close. And we'll go ahead and put this together. Okay. You could have used the other side too. The other side of this paper was pecan pie and sort of the basic beige, I guess. Okay. Oops. All right. I'm just going to put this on like that. And I think I will just, sorry, I like to line it up on my grid paper so it's straight to my eye. Then I feel like I'm getting it right. Now I see it's hanging off the end. I will trim it down, and then I'm going to just put this in. So I will just glue this in, and we are done, except for the birds that I want to put on the front. And I think I'm going to center this. You could put it to the side if you want, but I think it looks maybe better centered a little bit, like that. Okay. So I think that's a very nice card, very simple, but effective, especially with this paper, because this paper is so gorgeous. I just hate cutting it up. All right, so we've got the 2 different kind of birds. I thought maybe I will put this one right here. And I don't know if we want some in the sky. If we do, go ahead and use them in the sky here. One there, and maybe I like to do it in 3s, so maybe like this. I think I'll just do it like that. All right, so there we go. Really like that. I like all the layers. The colors all went together so nicely with this paper. Really turned out nice. I do not have another card to show you today. I didn't make one up beforehand out of retired paper like I normally do. Like I said, I had a very busy morning and thought I just didn't have a lot of time to do that. So this is my trick though for today, my tip. You cut yourself a window sheet. These are the sheets that come with our stamps, and I just save them. So it just really works well to get a focal point for you. I really like that idea. It's not my original idea. I stole it from someone else. And this is my template. So if you want to see sort of my thinking, I write on the back, triple panel layout, and the cardstock layer, the 3 cardstock strips, and then the designer series paper on top. So that's sort of my template for making these cards. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Oh, I was going to trim this off. I can see this paper sticking out of here. Where are my scissors? All right. And I appreciate your thumbs up. I appreciate all your comments on my cards and suggestions. And if you'd like to see me make something or use some kind of paper maybe, please ask me. I am in the midst of getting ready for some craft sales in my area, and so Christmas is high on my list, but I am still trying to make regular cards in between. All right, all the dimensions for this will be underneath the video, so you can check it out there. And I hope everybody has a great week.